Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Mic check.
You got to clap. There we go. Oh, is it recording?
It's recording.
All right.
Live from the booth.
Okay, good.
Yo, traffic was crazy today, by the way. Traffic was bananas.
Traffic is always bananas. I feel
Yeah.
like it's like Mario Kart out there. At this point, if you're driving down Bruce B. Downs, you're on I-75, 275, whichever road you're on, it is literally Mario Kart.
Yo, man. I hate traffic.
I want to throw the banana peel.
Coming back from California, that was traffic, but I got a little bit of that in Tampa today.
You can't tell me that you just don't want to hit somebody with a mushroom. Or like
Thank God for autopilot.
You want to hit them with the turtle shell. You just want to throw the turtle shell, watch them spin out Mario Kart.
Man, that would be nice. Elon, can you install that in my car, please?
Yeah, look, it's gonna be on the Tesla screen. You just hit the banana.
Everything else is there.
Why not?
Nah, man. All right, you guys ready to get this party started?
Yeah,
let's get this party started.
let's
Let's put some music into this. So we still starting out. We still using royalty-free music. The sound that comes from this thing.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. We
got
gotta
an-
start somewhere.
We got an amazing guest today, man, guys. Let me tell you. We got my bro, my little bro, but he's a big bro now. He's a musician, engineer, farmer, entrepreneur, multiple business owner. He's done so much. He inspires me. Let me tell you something. We're going to learn about your business.
Thank you.
His name is Michelangelo Rivera. He owns a few businesses. Mikey, if you don't mind me, can I call you Mikey?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, Mikey.
You can't have your little brother on the show and not talk to him like your little brother.
Okay, all right.
It's cool.
So basically, you've done a lot. And this podcast is about entrepreneurs, business owners in the local area. And we're learning about their business. It's about you. It's not about us. And hopefully, when we walk away, someone can take away something that you've overcome, something, any tips that you got in business. And if somebody's interested in a similar business of yours, they can also learn something from you and apply that and maybe not hit a bump in the road that you avoided.
That's awesome. I mean, information is everything, right? If people can hear it from someone who's actually walked through it, it can save them some issues and also help them be inspired to do it. And that's kind of how I learned. I mean, I watched you actually do a lot of things. And as you was doing your business thing, and I saw you going in the field and going to sell, taking me with you in the car, like, yo, just stay in the car. And I'm over here trying to like save you AC, turning the car off, dying in the car, ready to die, like leave a child in the back seat. And he's like, nah, bro, just leave the car on. But I learned a lot from seeing what everybody else was doing around me. So I think what you guys are doing is great for anybody who wants to become an entrepreneur, or if they're in business and that's what they want to do. You know, this is definitely something they should look into.
I appreciate that. So with that being said, welcome to Business with Joel and Baez. Joel and Baez. See, this is how new this is. That's why I always tell everybody, you just got to start.
Do it again.
You got to get the kinks out.
Let's go.
Do it again.
Welcome to Business with Joel and Benny.
Hit the clap.
That's
Hit the
Joel.
clap. We gotta hit the
There's
clap.
a clap somewhere. I don't know where the clap is. Oh,
You gotta find the applause on that.
There
There
you go. There we go. hit
We
the
got
clap.
it. We got it right.
All
Let's
right,
go.
Business with Joel and Benny. I'm Benny. That's Joel. You already heard about Mikey.
I'm excited for today's episode.
Yeah, me too, man. It's awesome. So you already kind of started saying, I was going to ask you, what made you want to do business? Because that's not easy. You know, there's a lot of heartache that comes with it. There's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that goes into it. What made you want to do that?
Well, when I decided to go into business, I didn't know that there was going to be so much blood, sweat, and tears that came with it. You see the lifestyle. It's kind of like, I don't know, I kind of refer to like how some people who grow up in certain areas only see certain people successful that do certain things, so that's what they want to do. And it kind of leads them down a bad path depending on where you come from. But when you get to see that on another scale, and you get to see people doing positive things, and you get to see them, you know, displaying a certain status, I would call it a status symbol at that point of what they have in materials, and it's kind of like a thing you see, and once you see it, you're like, I want that. And as soon as I saw that 530, as soon as I saw that 930 turbo that you had in the garage,
Okay.
and as soon as I saw those things, I was like, what is my brother doing? And I need to figure out how to do this myself. So I kind of stuck like a fly on the wall, sat in your car, kind of learned your spiels, heard you on the phone talking with people rather than hanging out with a lot of people that were my own age that were at that time into doing a lot of, I would call, stupid stuff. And I chose to sit in your car and listen to that and kind of like gain knowledge. And then I had a computer. I'm one of those generations that I would say as soon as I got to see that and see, you know, all right, this guy is doing this kind of stuff and his life's not that great. You got the pretty girl. You had the nice car. I was like, yeah.
Appreciate that.
I was like, yeah, no. I gotta figure out what's going on here. I didn't want to be stuck in a Civic. So
Okay.
that's kind of how it came. So I was motivated by things that as you get older, you kind of realize too, the materials kind of aren't everything out of it. You kind of fall in love with the business itself. And that's kind of, now I have a passion for what I do rather than just trying to make money. To me, it's more like if you don't have a drive for what you're really doing, it's going to be hard to be successful at it because you kind of like, you're going to be doing something you don't really like. So that's one of the things I definitely, if somebody wants to do something, have a passion for it. Actually want to do it. If that's something you actually really care about, you'll do great at it because you're not going to let off. You're not going to give up. You're not going to fall back. You're going to give 110% because it's something you actually stand on. So that's kind of what I've learned over time. At the time, I would just think about something I thought was a good idea for business, and then, I'm going to just go do that just because I know that financially it makes sense. Now, there are some people who are really good at just doing that, and it makes sense. You know, you go into regular restaurants, stuff like that. But I've noticed that, like, it's more fun. You feel better inside when it's something that you actually have a passion for.
And you do have a passion for what you do.
Yeah.
And
I think that's a great answer. So basically, you had your big bro as a role model. And
and
you wanted that lifestyle.
And a few others. I definitely had a few others. I definitely had I had some bad role models as well in my life. I'm not going to say any names, but I definitely seen some people do things that I was like, yeah, I'm not doing what that guy did. So
makes sense.
is, you know, you gotta have both. And when you see that, like I said, I seen where it could go. Growing up, at first, I didn't think it was even possible to get to that. I didn't think it was even like, it was just 9 to 5 hard work. You know, I just figured that's just how the way it is. That's how
the whole lifestyle.
Yeah, you're just gonna bust your ass all day. You're gonna work, and you're gonna maybe get a decent house if you're lucky. You might find a wife. You probably have a couple divorces. I mean, that's what you know. Like, but no, once you see that there's things could be changed and you can actually get somewhere, and it definitely made me want to step it up. So that's kind of what made me get into it.
That's really cool.
That's awesome.
I heard somebody said, I heard one time that somebody said that smart people learn from their mistakes, but wise people learn from others. So it was pretty wise of you to look around, look at the room and see the people around you and learn what not to do from some people, and also learn what maybe you should be doing from others.
For sure.
That's pretty cool.
I also think you got to walk your line. Like, you can't just see what somebody else is doing and just want to be him. Like, take the knowledge, take what you can gain from everybody in the room and be your own monster. Like, be your own chameleon. I look at it like picking up a trade, or like if you look at a video game, like what accolade you're going to add to your character. Like, I learned from you how to actually grind, go, you know, grassroots marketing, store to store, dealership to dealership when you were doing your direct print media with the mailers. And once I saw that drive and that ambition, I was like, oh, so you got to get out here and get it. So you got to actually like go door to door.
You have to.
So I was like, it's not just like you do it and they just come to you. So like, okay, so that's kind of how that went. And then I always had a thing with numbers. I wasn't the best person with math and school math, algebra and stuff like that. But when it came to money, it just made sense.
Somehow you always knew how to count money.
Yeah. I don't know, for some reason. I like money, man. There's something about it. I liked it, and I was just
Who doesn't like money?
I was like, I just got to figure out how to get it, and I need it. You know? Yeah. I didn't want to have any struggles as I got older, so I definitely wanted to focus on how I can better my life and set myself up for when I do have children, that I can provide them whatever they wanted or whatever, you know. I just want to make my kid happy. So whatever is gonna take, and now that I have a son, it's even better because like whatever he ever asked me for is gonna be so hard for me not to be like, yeah, I just want to spoil this guy. I love, I love him so much. He's so cute. His smile is everything to me. So it's like, how can I not make him smile?
By the way,
it's a pretty amazing smile.
Yeah. By the way, congratulations on your son.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Also, congratulations on your daughter.
Yeah,
Sophia is definitely a great addition to the family.
Yeah, it's nice that we had babies at the same time so they can.
Yeah, it's gonna be. They're gonna actually do stuff together. I'm definitely gonna come around. We're gonna keep that bond. I want them to be close, like brother and sister, pretty much. I mean, they're only separated 3 months. I think like 3 months. That's crazy.
Awesome.
3 months.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Good timing.
Definitely.
Yeah, Mike was like, "What? You pregnant? Me too."
Definitely.
Yeah. But you talked about what inspires you, but if you want to get into maybe some of your, I know you have multiple businesses. You have a few retail locations. You grow hemp, which is pretty incredible. You also had a donut business, which is pretty awesome because we like donuts. We've always liked those donuts too.
That's what I meant by like find something you actually have a passion for and stick to that. The donut thing was the first business I ever opened. We'll go ahead and start where the first business I ever opened.
Okay.
When we were young, Papi used to actually take us to the flea market. And every time he used to take us to the flea market, they had these little mini donuts. They were on this machine. They flipped right in front of you. I thought it was the coolest thing I ever seen in my life. And not only was it the coolest thing, they were the best tasting donuts. I don't care. I'm sorry, Duncan. I'm sorry, everybody. But these donuts right here are amazing. If you never had them, you need to go to a fair in Florida somewhere. They have them. Find them. So I went there. We used to go there, and Papi used to always buy them for us, and I loved them. And they always had such a long line, like the line was crazy.
So
and
true.
I remember us always kind of saying like, man, there's like they barely pay any money for rent here. They must be making a killing, because the line is literally always like 20 people.
That's crazy that you thought about that way back then.
Yeah, and
you can always smell them too, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I went to the flea market.
I was literally probably like 8-9 years old at the time, and I was already kind of thinking about this type of things. That's also, I don't know, I think it was something, it was kind of always going to be for me. I always think I just knew. When I was in high school, I was telling people my senior year I was going to open a donut shop. And
awesome.
And like, I'd never forget it. I was talking to this one girl in my class senior year in Miss Grace class, and I told her, she was like, what are you going to do after you graduate? You going straight to college? Or I was like, I'm going to probably go to school. I was like, but I'm definitely going to open a donut shop. She was like, what? And she just started laughing at me, like, what are you going to open a donut shop for, Mikey? And I was like, it's going to make money. It just makes sense. And that's what I'm saying. I saw the line. I saw the how much people really wanted it. And I told myself, man, if they put this inside of our mall, in our local mall, where there's always people walking, you have foot traffic, the smell is amazing. I mean, the only stuff inside of our mall at that time was like cookies and onions, and there's nothing wrong with onions.
I was gonna say onions.
I love listen. I love the pretzels, right?
Hey, I'm gonna just give a shout out to onions.
The pizza,
Facts.
the pizza pretzel, bro, with the cheese. It's fire.
Good.
Yeah. Okay, back to donuts. So I knew that our mall didn't really have a lot of cool treats and stuff like that. I also worked in the mall from when I was 16. You would know that. We all worked at Rack Room.
Yeah.
That was like, I think also got to give a shout out to Rack Room Shoes. You guys raised us all. You taught us how to sell. You taught us how to work on the sales floor, management. You gave us the foundation. I'm telling you.
Work under pressure. Deal with lots of customers at one time.
Even Chester and Jim. I got to give Chester and Jim a shout out. They were all of our managers, and they definitely gave me a lot of knowledge for some OGs. Got to shout them out.
And just for the listeners, when you're referencing our mall, you're talking about Ocala, correct?
Yes, Ocala, Florida, the Paddock Mall.
Okay.
It was a Simon Mall at the time. I know that because I leased the location. It was Simon Mall. So basically, when I was young, I knew that it was profitable. So it made sense to me. I used to always tell Papi, yo, man, and we used to always talk about it like, yeah, we need to open a donut shop one day because, people want it so much and nobody has it. And the machine's cool. It shows right in front of them. It just makes sense. It grabs your attention. He used to talk about putting it in New York because Papi was always going back. He's from New York, so he was like, "You put one of those in New York and Manhattan, it would never turn off.
You know how many people?
It'd be 24 hours. You know how much? All you need is donuts and coffee, and maybe knishes because he loves it.
And parking lots.
Yeah, him and his knishes. So you know, we always talked about it. And one day I went online and I ordered a packet, and the packet got delivered to the house, and we all went over it, looked at it. We all looked at it. We was like, damn, it's not that. It's not cheap. it was not super cheap to set up. I mean, when you look at it for somebody now, it's not that much. The machine was like $5,000.
Oh, the brochure. Yeah.
You ordered the brochure to the house. The brochure came even with a little thing so you can make a sample donut in a regular like pan fry or whatever.
Oh, wow.
But we looked at all the information. It was a little out of pocket. Nobody had the money for it. It got shelved. But I always told myself if I ever had enough money to do it, I was going to do it.
Yeah, and you did that. You saved your money.
Yeah.
You bought it.
I saved for a long time. Kept where I was working like at Rack Room, and it took me about like I'd say 5 years in savings.
Nice.
Even after going to college, came back, had to work some more, and then finally I had a friend that was. This is where investors come in. You know, don't be afraid of doing something with somebody. Partnership is great.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people are very don't do nothing. You know, there's paperwork for that. Sit with an attorney, write it out. You know, if this person decides he wants to leave, there's buyout. Figure out how you want to write it out. But that's what we did. We decided to go into business together. Mm-hmm. We both put up half the money together. We opened it up. Then he had a change of heart. He's realized that you have to stand in front of a fire and sweat and be hot and deal with food. He was like, bro, I don't want to do this. And I was like, well, you know, give me a little bit of time and I'll give you all your money back. And he was like, yeah, that's fine. I just want my money back, bro. I just want to leave. He didn't even want to, he wasn't really a hardworking guy.
Wasn't
so
his
he was
passion.
just like, no, at all. It was not his passion. So he was just like, look, I want out of here. So I paid him out over time with the money from the business, which was kind of crazy. I'm surprised he even let me do that. Yeah. But I let the business pay him in like 2 payments. We cleared them out. And then I took over 100% of the business. So then at that point, I'm in the mall where I worked my whole life, went from Rack Room to Lids. Then from Lids, I left Lids to my own business, set up the stand. I'm selling mini donuts in the mall. I go from, regular store manager of a store to running my own thing. And I think that was the process that helped me as well. I went through the whole ladder on the retail ladder. I went from sales associate to assistant manager. From assistant manager, went to a whole nother company, became store manager, ran a store, learned how to really do numbers, learned about shrink, learned about, this is why I think I'm still in retail, because I feel like I was built off retail. And from there, I went, opened up my own. To me, it was like a retail shop, but it was food, which is better. Everybody needs to eat. Everybody's hungry. Everybody wants a snack, and especially I was right next to where all the kids played. So I made sure I picked that side of the mall where all the kids did the big jump.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The jumpy house and all that.
Even with that, like, I looked at it like all the prime real estate was in the middle of the mall, and they charged more. I was like, nah, how much do you want for that space all the way over there in the corner by where all the kids are? Nobody wants to be over there by all the children. So I'm like, and then got a good location for a good price. We locked in for a good number. They gave us a really good lease. And after having it for a while, I was doing very well. And I was approached by somebody who wanted to actually purchase the business. So at this point, I'm sitting here and I'm like, I've already done this for 2 years. It's doing great. But at the time, it was a lot to manage. Like, I had to constantly keep buying inventory, and then employees here and there, because obviously you don't want to pay a lot. So I had employees that, when you pay lower, you're going to get guys who just, they get another job and they leave and they go. Yeah. It is what it is, but at that time, it wasn't smart for me to spend that much money on employees, because it would have drained it. So it wasn't my task, and it wasn't what I wanted to do. And but I did find some really loyal guys that really held it down. They were awesome. I love my guys. They held the shop down, and we did well. But the guy came. He wanted to buy it. I looked at it. I was like, this is the easy way to get out of here, get out of the management, and move on to something else. And we worked it out. I sold it to him, sold him the business. So I went through kind of like the full timeline with the business.
Wow.
I set it up. I opened it, got it going for 2 years, got it profiting. It was doing well. And then I sold it and was like, all right, now what else can I do?
Wow.
And I realized, I was like, man, I just did the formula. It worked. I started something. It did well. I just got rid of it. I came out winning. So what else can I do at this point?
You know, a takeaway from what you were saying there. One thing I wanted to point out: you completed a whole life cycle of a business, which is amazing. You started
in 2 years.
In 2 years, you started a business, you made it profitable, and then you exited. I mean, that's amazing. So just want to congratulate you on that, and especially your first business.
That's true. Yeah, it takes most people 2 years to break even.
Correct.
Yeah.
Everyone knows 80% of businesses fail within the first 2 years. And then two, one thing I also wanted to talk about your takeaway was you learned it's okay to start in retail. It's okay to pick up those skills about inventory. You work your way up to be a store manager. You don't have to go and start business with no skills. You transferred those skills, and that helped you leverage your business. So I just want to point that to our listeners. You know, you can start from the bottom and own a donut shop like Mikey here.
Yeah. So I didn't want to stay donut shop Mikey. So I that definitely started becoming an, oh, Mikey from the donut shop. I was like, oh no, we can't stay with that. I can't just be Mikey for the donut shop forever. So, you know, we sold the business. I got out of it. Then I purchased into a barbershop. I knew somebody who had just opened a barbershop. He was looking for an investor. I saw it as a great opportunity to go from one thing to another and still be in business, and made sense. It was in a great location. It was literally across from the mall. So I invested into the barbershop. Then,
yeah. Talk about that a little bit. Some people, you know, they'll buy a house for cash flow. Some people would do other things for cash flow. You saw this. I mean, we talked a little bit about it before, but you saw this as an opportunity to have a cash flow even to help you do other things as well. Because you don't cut hair.
Well, exactly. So I don't cut hair. Our brother does. So
Right.
I always seen him cut at barbershops. I knew that barbershops, again, this is where I talk about, like, you got a fly on the wall. Everywhere I went, I kind of just like to absorb the information. Once I saw barbershops running and and seeing how much people came to barbershops, I was like, man, this makes sense. It was like the donut shop all over again. I was like, people come and get haircuts every week. Everybody wants to look fly every week.
Mm-hmm.
So these guys are getting good money. And at that time, haircuts were only like $15, $20. Now they're getting $40 a haircut. Shout out to barbers now. You guys are actually making some crazy money out here. You know, they're doing it's awesome. So I saw that as an opportunity from seeing it work, and then I said, you know what? Instead of purchasing, like you said, going into housing or something like that at the time, it wasn't even on my mind at the time.
Radar.
It wasn't on my radar. Later on, after some mentorship from someone else, I kind of started looking into that. But at that time, I was really into having cash flow. So after having the donut shop and seeing that I could have cash at all times and always have money every month coming in that I was paying myself out way more than I should have. Like, it was my first business, and I was like, yeah, I deserve this. I deserve all of it.
Yeah.
You know,
your operating expenses must have been.
I just wanted to cover the expenses, cover what I needed to keep making more, and anything over the top, I wanted. So that's kind of how I ran my first business. And after that, I was like, okay, so how am I going to replace this? How am I going to replace something that's going to make me... And I thought it was going to be the barbershop. And in honest opinion, it was not the barbershop. The barbershop gave me a lot of headaches. You know, it worked well. The first couple years, we had 10 barbers. We were making money. It was going good. But then that type of business, I learned, is very dependent on the people you have working there. Mm-hmm. So if you don't have great barbers, you don't have a great barbershop. If you have, you know, subpar barbers and you have people coming and going, new guys who just started, they just got their licenses and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I seen your barbershop. You created a nice atmosphere. You created an environment that attracted really good barbers.
Yeah,
then you made them.
It did well. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, we had it for 7 years. Yeah. 7 years ownership, nothing can be that bad if you stuck it out that long. Like awesome. I said, but it was an uphill, up and down. It was kind of rocky at some points. You lose barbers, sometimes you gain. So it's not, to me, it wasn't perfectly consistent. So that's why, to me, like, I like consistency. So I knew that it was something that also I was like, look, I'm tired of having to deal with so many different characters, all the different barbers. You know, you at that point, it's hard to deal with that many people. To me, it was kind of like a daycare. So like I have to worry about this guy's feelings, and this guy needs a break, and his girl broke up with him, so now he's sad and he needs 3 days to cry. And I'm like, what do you mean? Come cut hair, make money, just find another girl. If you cut hair, if you have money, you're gonna find another girl. What do you got the wrong equation, my guy. So stuff like that. So that was why eventually someone actually approached about that, and we sold the barbershop.
Wow. That is amazing.
Yeah.
So he got two
his second business, and he sold that one too.
Two businesses under his belt.
That's why after the first one, I'm like, all right, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this. We're gonna rock out, and then we're just gonna get rid of this too.
I'm starting to see a pattern here.
Yeah,
Partnership, run a business, make it profitable, and then sell it.
Yeah, I think it's my thing. I think I'm probably gonna do it. Everything I do, I don't know. It's hard not to sell at the end.
That is the business life cycle.
That's the best exit strategy, really. Don't close your shop. Sell it.
Yeah. What's the point of closing down? Sell it to somebody.
That's a good tip for people out there with businesses. Like, you don't have to close. You can just put it up for sale.
If you put the work in and you have customers and you have tax papers that show what your company has made or what your business has made, sell it. What do you mean you're gonna just close down? That doesn't make sense. So that's how I got into the next business. Now check that out. That was
my next question.
This is how somebody really made a huge mistake and how I ended up with my smoke shop.
Okay.
So, and I started Headmasters before the smoke shop.
Okay.
But I'm gonna just give you the story because we kind of like ran into it.
Yeah.
So, and they go together. They go hand in hand. So I always wanted this smoke shop in Marion Oaks, where we grew up, and I always thought about doing it. And at the time, I was like, man, when I did the barbershop, I wanted to do smoke shop. I chose barbershop because it was something I knew better, thought I knew better. And then, we did that. And then finally, I finally said, you know what? After the barbershop, let's do a smoke shop. Boom. So now, at this point, an opportunity arose, though. Mm-hmm. There was somebody who opened a smoke shop in Marion Oaks. And once he opened up, he was there for 7 years. So the whole time he was there, I'm like, man, he already got all the customers. Like, I don't know if I want to compete with him. I don't think it's worth it at that time. Mm-hmm. So I get a phone call one day from one of my friends. He goes, hey, do you want to buy some display cases for a store or something like that? And I'm like, who's selling display cases? He said, Dave from the smoke shop. I said, Dave?
Light bulb.
Bling! Wow. Light bulb went off immediately. I was like,
I don't have that sound right now, but
yeah. I was like, why is he selling? Hold on. I was like, he's closing down. They're like, yeah, something's going on. Da, 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 da. I'm already at the farm. So this is my first attempt up there when I first went out to the farm. I'm already there. I get the phone call. I'm an hour and a half away, almost hour and 45 minutes away. I get the phone call. I'm in the middle of a greenhouse, and I'm like, yeah, let him know I'm gonna come by. I'm gonna come talk to him about them display cases. I hang up the phone. I go take a shower. I get in the car, and I start driving. I knew it was time to go because I didn't want to let the opportunity. If it was an opportunity, I didn't want to miss it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I got in the car, drove straight over there, went there, talked to Dave. Hey, Dave, what's going on? You selling display? Yeah, man, I'm closing down. Da, da, da. Oh, yeah? Oh, why? What's going on? Oh, well, my health is, there's some things going on with his health. And he was like, I can't do this no more. I had a seizure and stuff like that. And nobody was here. So I was like, oh, wow. So I understood. And it's very unfortunate that it happened to him. I'm not like, it sucked, but that issue kind of became an opportunity for me.
Yeah.
So at that moment, he wants out of the shop, and he didn't even consider selling it after having a fully functioning, running, great business for seven years. So I was like, oh, so when are you who's the leasing? Who's the guy? Oh, here, I'll give you his number. I talked to him. I told him I wanted to open a smoke shop. He was like, yeah, well, do you just want to buy my whole store? Like not buy the store. He was like, do you just want to buy all my displays so you could just leave them right here? I was like, honestly, no. I want to start from scratch. But I'll buy some of your stock. So I bought, that's how I kept it. I was like, listen, you got a lot of tobacco still. I'll buy all your tobacco. I'll buy all this stuff so I can have it for the store. Boom. That made him happy. He gave me all the information to the guy who was leasing the location. I called him that same day.
Wow.
And I said, listen, I want this location. He's leaving in December. His lease was ending in December. It was a month and a half prior. And I told the guy, I was like, I want this spot. If I need to leave a deposit today, I will wire you a deposit. However you want to do this, let me know. I was like, if you want me to go deliver cash somewhere, I will do this. And then he was like, yeah, actually... yeah, if you can, just, drop off a check at this gas station because they own a gas station. And, if you're serious, I drove over there, handed in the check, boom, left the deposit. And that's how I got that location. I didn't have to buy the business, nothing. I walked into a great situation at that moment.
And I'm pretty sure if he was willing to sell it, you probably would have bought it too.
I would have definitely considered it. I really would have, because I knew the potential it had. Being I grew up there, everybody knows me. I know the area. I know that, you know, our mom and dad had a business in the same plaza. Yeah. So for me, it was kind of like, I definitely want to do this because it makes me feel like we're finally back in there, you know. After mommy got sick, she had to sell. I'm pretty sure. I think she sold hers. Or did she close? She sold it, right?
No, she sold it.
Yeah, she sold the restaurant. See? There you go. Maybe that's how I learned. Yo, shout out to mommy.
Listen, we are a sum of our experiences.
Yeah, this is why your parents mean something, children. You know, I saw my mom sell a business. Maybe that's why I'm selling all of mine.
So you got the smoke shop, right? What was the next? And you touched on a little bit about you had a farm. Is that Headmasters?
Yes.
So you want to talk about how you created that company and a little bit about that?
So the funny thing about how that works. So Headmaster started before the smoke shop, guys, just so we can fix that timeline for you. I also, and it's actually crazy. The first thing I did after the donuts, though, right before the barbershop. Oh, actually, no. While I had the barbershop, I went back to the mall and I did a cart and did hoverboards and drones. It was when the hoverboard first came out, the little thing you could ride, the little Bluetooth speaker. Yeah. I just learned about Alibaba.com.
Yeah, people, when I say he had multiple businesses, I was in line. He had multiple businesses.
Yeah. So Alibaba fell on my lap and I was like, whoa, hold on. You could just go online and find a manufacturer for everything.
Yeah.
For like everything. And you could put your name on it and sell it. And they already do all the... I was like, hold on. For somebody who had my type of mindset, that it was mind blowing.
Wow.
You know, for people out there, listen, it is not that hard. You go if you want to get into like retail or selling a certain item and going and this is where the hustle, where people tell you, oh, you know, some people take a certain route of hustling. It doesn't matter what's in your hand. If it's something you could sell, you can make money from it. So I learned, you know, I'm not doing those. I'm gonna go over here and this is gonna be my hustle.
But let's also be real. Like you had your ear to the ground, so to speak. You saw that everybody was into hoverboards and all this stuff.
So that's the part of the hustle. And I knew there was a demand.
Exactly.
So once I knew that there was a demand for something, and once again being in a small town like Ocala, Florida, where they're so slow, if a song comes out, it took Ocala 3 years to get that song. You know, that's the type of town we grew up in. It was horses and cattle. That's all we had at the time. So I said, you know what?
1,100 horse farms or something like that.
It was crazy. I don't know if you guys seen. We gotta talk on that real quick. You seen the Equestrian Center?
I haven't seen it. I heard about it.
Listen, Ocala got some money, bro. They doing some things over there.
We got to check it out.
We got to go have lunch or something over there. Sure. It is awesome. It's a great show. If you're ever in Ocala, stop by the Equestrian Center. You can see horses do some pretty amazing things, and it's a great place to kind of just walk through and see. It's a cool atmosphere. At that. So back to where we're at. I'd set up the hoverboard thing just because I knew it was a demand. I wanted a 3-month lease. Came in for the holidays only. That's another thing. It was kind of like my get in, get out, like selling a business. Yeah. I was like, all right, I only want to do this temporarily. I'm not trying to stay in the mall. I'm not trying to have a worker for that long. Just 3 months. Put me in there for Christmas. October, November, December. On January 1st, I'm out.
Yeah.
And
right. You did that for a little bit longer though, right? And
No.
Oh, you didn't?
I left the day after Christmas.
Oh, wow. Okay. For some reason, I thought maybe someone else's story.
It sounds really messed up, but nobody was getting no refunds after that date. If it didn't work, I'm sorry. We closed up shop. You were going to have to call. I might have, if I answered, I would have changed it for them. But yeah, that's kind of how that went. I was a little young. I was young, you know, little shark at that moment. And I said, yeah, I'm coming in for 3 months. I bought some product from China, learned something too as well. I took a little bit of a loss in that business because I purchased some stuff that didn't pass through customs.
That's what I was gonna bring up. I knew that.
Yeah, so there's a
wasn't all peaches and cream.
It wasn't all peaches and cream on this one. This is when I first took a L. I actually took. It was my first hit that I took a jab. I didn't expect this. At this point, I thought I was Rocky. This was easy. So no. I placed my first order, got everything. When we opened up, I blew through these. They were telling us we couldn't ride them. I'm spinning around in the middle of the mall. I grew up in the mall. You didn't tell me nothing. I knew all the security guards.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Bob, come on, shut up, Bob. Leave me alone. And Bob's like, come on, Michael. But it didn't matter. I knew that it would make people want it. They saw the lights. They saw the music. I was playing hip hop and stuff like that. And I'm spinning around, and everybody wanted one at that point. So we sold out of hoverboards in our first 2 weeks.
Wow.
And then I did drones. Now the drones, coming from a math standpoint, at this point, I had already learned from you that pennies make dollars. And, you sold mailers.
My previous business was, making margins, but it was.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. When I learned margins, you taught me margins. Once I learned the margins, I said, okay, how much do these cost on Alibaba? I'm seeing all these cool items. They even they even post them in the front of the website of all cool different things you could sell. So I'm on here, probably on the toilet somewhere, and I'm like, bro, look at this drone. This drone has a camera on it. These are the ones that I go in. If I wanted to buy one, but they're like $250 in the store. So at that time, the cheaper kind, like the one I was looking at, they're like $250 in the store. I saw these and I was like, $27. You gotta be kidding me.
Wow.
And then the smaller drone that I saw people selling for over $100, it was like $12.
Wow. Okay, that's
a
huge spread.
Yeah, so I'm like, hold on, these things are super cheap. What's the minimum order now? So now I'm asking questions this is how I started becoming the wholesale learning distribution. I'm like, so what's your, on there it says MOQ, minimum order quantity. So I see, I'm like, so I'm asking them, what's the minimum I can order? Then they tell me, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to buy this amount, send it over. I got the lease for the mall. I already learned how to get a lease from the mall, from the donut shop. So I went right back up to them. I'm like, hey, I need this too,
Wow.
So then I get that location. We set up for 3 months. I sell out of hoverboards, start selling drones like crazy. I'm banking. I'm selling them for $150. I was actually doing I think it was $175, and I was selling 2 of them. If you got 2, you can get them for $300 even. And then I even did some specials, for other people because they buy multiple, whatever. I didn't care. I knew the margins were there, and I was just like, yeah, take them. I'll give it to you for $80 right now. There was no money not being taken at that moment. So we wasn't leaving no dollars on the table.
So that was another successful business.
Yeah, but this is the hit. So I ran out of hoverboards. I go to order more hoverboards. Apparently the company wants to put Samsung on the box.
Oh.
So
wow.
So it gets to customs. You have to get a customs broker to get your stuff out of customs. Something I didn't know. I'm over here thinking I'm gonna pull up and just pick it up in my car, and then I find out, oh no, you need a broker. Shout out to Alibaba. They told me I needed it, gave me the client, told me who I could call.
Okay.
And I was like, wow, thank you. You guys are great. So I could probably be a spokesperson for them.
Listen, if somebody's trying to sell you something, they're gonna
they're gonna help you buy it. They're gonna help you buy it. So basically, that's it. He helped me buy their stuff and successfully helped me get my stuff. But the second time they send it, something with Samsung at the time, so they wouldn't allow it through customs. So I'm fighting now, trying to figure out how to get it with China. I sent a direct wire transfer, and I was trying to figure out how to get my money back. At this point, it was $16,000.
Wow.
I'm like, wow,
that's a big loss.
Yeah. So, and that's what it became. I was also at the time young and dumb, and I was living a lot, chilling with, going out, doing things, and I was hanging out, and I was in Puerto Rico. Came back from Puerto Rico, go to my email, and it was like, oh, you're the last day you can whatever from PayPal to fight to argue this
is today.
Was yesterday.
Oh.
So I'm like,
no.
Oh no. There's no way. I call PayPal and they're like, sorry, sir. You had a deadline. We gave you 3 months.
Yeah.
Wow.
3 months, people. So I that tells you what I mean by I was hanging out a little too much.
School of Hard Knocks.
School of Hard Knocks. So I learned $16,000 loss. Boom.
Wow.
Lost out. But luckily, the margins on how many drones I bought, I was still able to come out good. We profited.
Okay.
I didn't profit as much as I would have liked. I also didn't get to get my second order of hoverboards.
Or hoverboards. Okay.
Yeah. So then I just sold out all the rest of the drones that I had. I still ended up having some. I had a room with a good amount. I was giving these away for like 2 years. Everybody's Christmas, they got a drone. If you remember me in that time, you got a drone for me for sure.
Wow.
Anything you did good, you washed my car. I was like, here, have a drone.
But I mean, the best thing about it is that you made a profit and you walked away.
Yeah. And like I said, it wasn't as great, but that was when I learned like you're not gonna win them all.
Yeah.
And you got to really watch out. And so from there, now, boom, now we go to Headmasters. And
So I just want to say real quick, you're working on these different businesses like concurrently,
all at the same time.
all your passions, and so people need to know that you can do more than one thing, but just how do you maintain focus? That's another thing. Like some people are like, if you're gonna do something, do that one thing and just focus and make sure that you dot all your I's and cross your T's or whatever. But you have this ability to come up with an idea. Somehow you're passionate about all these ideas, right? Because from what I know of you, you've had some experience with all these things, with the donut shop, the smoke shop, the toys, and all these other businesses that I know about. How do you stay focused while you're working on all these different ventures?
That's a great question. It is hard. I'm gonna say it is not easy. For some people, it's a lot harder than others. I am a highly functioning person that has anxiety. So my anxiousness and my not able to kind of sit still, to me a little bit, that's what I call it. Like I'm real antsy. So it makes me, I like to stay busy. Like I need to stay busy. Like my brain runs even in my sleep. That's also how when it comes to the smoking stuff and the smoke shops and everything, I also got into that because of being a smoker myself. For my anxiety and for how highly, like, I feel like my brain runs at a higher RPM than most. Like, if you're out here with like a regular 5,200 RPM, like I was a Predator.
9,000 RPM.
I had a Predator hard drive in my head. It was, we were moving.
You had a Formula One. That thing.
Yeah, we are Formula E up there.
Okay.
So it was going like that, and then that's where I started finding smoking. If I was probably taken to the doctor, I'm sure they would have put me on Ritalin or something. They would have gave me something like that. But I found smoking. That's kind of how I got into.
No, you got the chancleta.
Yeah, I was getting spanked, thrown in the room. My brothers were beating me up. Listen, I'm the youngest out of 4 brothers. It was not easy. That's also how I learned how to kind of be a little bit of a savage. Like, I wanted that piece of banana, bro. You were not eating all the tostones. It wasn't happening.
Okay.
So, that gave me that backbone and that drive to kind of like, I took the punch when I took that loss, and I was like, okay, all right, I've been punched before, it's fine. All my brothers just punched me at least once. So it's cool, just keep it moving. And as I was always I always had a passion for smoking. I've always liked the smoking culture, even though we kind of got beat up and people stopped talking to me for a long time when they found out I was smoking. And,
it was a little taboo.
My brother right here, he was like, no. But some people, like at that time, obviously was frowned upon. But now look where we're at. Mm-hmm. And I was already, at that time, I already could foresee that. I knew we were going to get there one day. Everybody else didn't. And now my mom takes CBD. So that alone was such an accomplishment for me to go from, he smokes, he's this, but now I'm actually out here doing something that my mother has benefited from. Mm-hmm. She's enjoyed
millions of people, kids with seizures,
and like that. Kids, the CBD oil and what comes from hemp. Now this is where we really fall down, where my passion really is. Once, as I've always been a smoker, I've seen what it did for me. It was always able to help me slow down. And now this is why I say, if you're not somebody who has an RPM hard drive that's moving that fast, sometimes it may slow you down a little too much. Not everything's for everybody. Try a sativa. If you're gonna do it, try a sativa. So for me, it helped me get by, and for me to focus on that many things. I wouldn't say it was because of that, but because I've learned how to manage my anxiety, because if you go and you open a few businesses, anxiety's coming. Get ready. Call your doctor. let him know. It's on its way.
Entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart.
It's not for everybody.
It's not easy. So like when you're up and you're flying and you're here and you're there and you're taking these trips and you're deciding to go open businesses and you're going to go look at locations, and everywhere you go you see something and you have a spike in your head. It goes, I know what I should put there. That's also one of my issues now. Everywhere I go, I can find. To me, it's like, I know what I can open here. If I open one of these, it'll do good. You know, and then you kind of like. Then sometimes you have to realize you don't have to open everything. Yeah, you don't have to do everything. You gotta. That's why I mean, like, follow my passion, and I've learned that now. I've decided to stick to what I'm doing. That's why I sold the barbershop, was because I realized the smoke shop made more sense for me. It came with what I liked. I liked speaking to the customers also, and then having the hemp company and getting into having my own products that I package. I got to bring it to the customer and give them the actual proper information. I feel like this industry is so new that it's very misled. The information isn't out there. I almost feel like it shouldn't even be sold in a smoke shop. Now that sounds crazy, owning a smoke shop. I get it, but what I'm saying is, since the prohibition was for so long, and we couldn't have scientists study it. They don't really understand it, and now some of the information that they're even putting out there is false. And I have such a passion for the cannabis plant as a whole that I kind of want to expose the truth. I like it all. You know, there's a lot of people who are, oh no, I just want the Delta 9. You know, I just want to smoke. I just want to get high. I just want to get stoned. That's cool. But like, do you only drink rum? Or do you only drink whiskey? Or do you, maybe you'll drink a gin or something else, That's the way I look at this. There's so many different layers to the plant. And,
oh yeah, man. Off the top of your head, hemp, people use it as a rope, clothing, milk. And I mean, there's so many things that come from. I think I've seen people building houses with hemp.
And there's a lot of people in the world who still think that it's only a t-shirt or it's a rope. There's still people who think like that. But like I said, focusing, for one, I'm gonna just answer that question. Focusing on businesses is very hard, but I do it because it's something that I can't just sit still. So for me to have so many things to kind of stay on, it helps. But then it gets to a point to where sometimes it becomes too much. Yeah. And once you get to that point where it's too much, you got to realize it. You got to suck it in, take it in, and just say, you know what, I don't have to do everything. And slow it down. Either find help, find an assistant, find an employee, even if you got to hire a secretary, whatever it comes to, if they fit in the budget.
Or a partner in many cases.
Or a partner. Like, that's what I did. I always find a good partner who can help out. Even today, we went and picked up a whole order for the smoke shops. I didn't do it. He went. My partner went. Shout out to Aban. He went, picked it all up, dropped it all off, took care of it. Things get done, and I don't have to have my hands on it. And that, having a team and growing up with a lot of friends and playing team sports, I realized, not everybody has to be a quarterback. Like, there's one quarterback, delegate, hand the ball off. I played football in high school. I played soccer. Awesome. That definitely taught me pass the ball.
There you go.
So
pass the ball.
I think that's good what you're saying as far as team, right? Where you're not doing everything by yourself, because sometimes you can get overwhelmed when you
when you're a one man. Shout out the best employee in life, my wife.
Okay,
my wife.
Oh yeah, she's a hard worker, boy.
Let me go ahead and put her out there, because also if you got a good woman, she gonna help you out.
Some people say you're only as good as the woman standing next to you, right?
I agree. That's a good. I agree with that.
Yeah,
because if I didn't have that girl helping me manage all these businesses, this is where the team comes. They say it takes a village, when it comes to business, it takes village. Sometimes you may need family member to hold it down for a day. You never know. You might have a friend who's willing to help out. And I've learned that from the situation. So that's where I say, when you need to manage that much, you got to find help. And I found good help. I have a good team. Not only that, I have you. I have Joelle. I can call Joel for anything at any point in time. You know, I feel like it's a free, like it's almost like money. Like,
Free money.
It should be. I know it should cost me a lot more, but I definitely call Joel and pick his brain all day.
Thank you.
And so I learned to use my tools. You know, I feel like you guys are two of my best tools. If I ever got to bounce something off, I mean, I got a lawyer to talk to. If I ever have something else, I got somebody who literally has a master's in finance, and this is what he does. So I feel like that's why I got lucky. I had that. So I have help. I have a great team. I have a great group of people that I could rely on in any way, and that's why it's been smooth. When their team isn't there, it's not smooth.
No, it's not.
It's not smooth, and that's what I will say on that. But so my passion for hemp and smoking since, you know, I was younger, I definitely wanted to get in that world. I walked into a smoke shop. My friend opened a smoke shop. I didn't even, you know, some guy I knew from Metro PCS. Actually, I think you know him too. You know Derek. He used to sell phones for Metro.
Oh yeah.
So he sell phones for Metro out of nowhere. The guy has a smoke shop. I'm like, awesome. I at the time I was living close to it. I used to go there and show support to local guy. I know that's where I'm gonna go.
Support local. Support small businesses.
Support
for
the small
everybody.
businesses. You know, I'm with the mom and pops.
Definitely.
So I go there to see him, and then he goes, "Bro, check this out," and he shows me this jar, and I'm like, "What is this?" I said, "Bro, this looks like kind of like weed, but almost like grass." He's like, "It's hemp. It's CBD." Da 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 da. He kind of starts telling me about it. I'm like, "Wow." Light bulb blew up immediately again. I said, hold on. They're allowing this? I didn't even know it was legal. So once I took pictures of the whole label, everything on there. I got myself ready. I said, I'm about to go investigate. So
no, that investigation, you have a degree in hemp, let me tell you. There's nothing you don't know about it. And you probably still, there's probably still things to learn about it, right? But
for sure. It's too early.
Yeah.
We're going to keep learning for many years to come. But I definitely, since I was young, I was the guy who was trying to figure out how to grow inside of a little PC case.
If there's anyone who deserves the name Headmaster, it's you.
Yeah.
That's why your company is Headmaster.
I was trying
there.
Listen, I was trying to grow inside my closet in a computer tower. Okay, we had plans. You know, certain people couldn't water. I'm gonna leave that out there. So when it came down to it, I read up everything on it. I went home, went online, started doing all the research. I was literally inside of my office. I call it my office. It's like my motherboard, my ship. It's because I do music. I have my monitors and my Apollo and all my stuff for mixing and recording, because that's another one of my passions. Throw that out there. That's what I went to college for. Went to school for sound engineering and got a degree in that.
That's cool.
And that taught me lessons. I went to go to the big city. You guys luckily got to live in New York when you were younger. I didn't. I was brought straight to Florida as a baby. And then from there I grew up in Florida, so life was very different for me. I didn't get to learn that hustle. Once I went to New York, I realized you can't sit down. You have to go. Everybody in that city is moving at like 110 miles an hour. Like, the only time you can slow down is waiting for a train. Or a
you
taxi.
see what I mean, man? Like, you're a sum of your experiences. He had that experience, and now he's like the ultimate go-getter.
That 11 months.
But you was a go-getter before that. You
it was either 11 or 13. But no, this is fresh out of high school.
It's like the seed was there, and New York watered it.
It was like, exactly. The seeds were planted. I feel like you planted the seeds in me. I went to New York, and they watered me like immediately.
It started raining.
I'm talking. You got guys selling stuff in the subway. He's like, bro, what do you need? I got this. I got that. Manhattan it's crazy. If you go over there and you have money in your pocket, you're gonna spend it. Somebody's gonna hustle you into buying something, whether it's peanuts, a hot dog. I wasn't even hungry. I'm not even hungry, and then I'm like, all right, I'll buy it. Whatever. It looks good. I'm gonna buy it.
Question for our listeners. Headmasters. You talked about a little bit about your passion. What is Headmasters? What products do you sell? What is the company for everyone to know?
For a proper answer, Headmasters is a vertically integrated CBD hemp company.
Okay.
So we started with purchasing from other sources. So this is the process of going there. I'm in my office for 3 days. After I did all the research, I'm reading all this stuff. There was a farm bill passed. Before the farm bill was actually passed, we're gonna go ahead and go back to Obama. Obama put in the first. It was in 2000, I believe, 14. He put in a research act, basically. Like, I forgot the exact name of it. Don't quote me on that. You'd have to Google that.
Okay.
But he had put something out there that now colleges could study hemp, and even it could be packaged and sold. And it was a gray area.
But that served as a gateway to
But
where
it
we
was,
are right now.
it opened the doors. So at that moment, people realized, okay, if we can take a hemp plant that makes fiber and all that and actually flower the female version of that plant, we'll get flowers. We'll actually get buds.
It was actually called 2014 Hemp Farm Bill.
There you go. That's the one.
I mean, it sounds a lot like what he just said.
Yeah. So that's exactly what it was. I knew it was in that year.
Fact checker over here. Oh, man.
So at that point, I'm doing all the research. Then I call you. You're in California, and I'm like, hey, so what do you think about this? You know, the law, the legalities on this. I knew you was on your law thing at the time. You was in law school, and you gave me a little bit of advice on that. And you was like, honestly, if I were you, I would go talk to
Go ahead.
Yeah. So at that point, you sorry, I lost train of thought.
Go ahead.
So you were saying wait, I can't hear myself. There you go. There was some happened.
Go ahead.
There.
Go ahead.
All right.
It's all right.
So at that point, you told me I should go speak to somebody who's in that business. And that's also great advice. If you don't know something about something you're trying to do, find somebody who's doing what you're doing. And
Or want to do. Yeah.
Or want to do
That's
it.
a great tip.
So at that point, I also took that in and I said, all right, let me find somebody who's actually growing this product. So if I want to do this and I want to package and sell, like I've always, being a smoker, I've seen how it works, the scales, how dispensaries work, and they selling pounds and grams and eighths, and they break it down to small numbers, and here we go with margins. I already sold donuts, so every gram to me is a donut. So like at that point, it didn't matter. Use your tools. Everything that I've learned, I feel like it's kind of like the Avengers, like the guy with all the rings.
All the rings. Yeah.
Like you
Thanos.
gotta use the hand that Thanos in
Thanos.
business. Keep all your rings together. And so at that point, I'm doing margins over here, and I'm like, wow, this is such a profitable business.
Wait, they're stones, right?
Yeah.
They're not rings. They're stones.
Yeah, they're stones. Sorry. Don't quote me. It's stones. Okay, I guess it's stones. I don't know. So at that point, I realized that it's a very profitable thing. This is something I want to do. I start reading into what CBD is, what it does for people, all the medical benefits that come from it, and I'm like, wow, I really want to do this. So now, since I already know retail, I said, wow, they're allowing people to open up stores. This can be sold over shelves in smoke shops. So, okay, I want to do this, and I want to go door to door, like dealership to dealership, like how you did. I told myself, I'm going to go smoke shop to smoke shop, and I'm going to sell my product. And because I'm a smoker and I know what it should look like and what it should be, the minute I saw their product, I was like, I will crush this. No disrespect to you guys. But when I saw what was in there, I was like, they're getting off on people. This is full of seeds and leaves, and this isn't what we do. So there's a lot of people who jumped in this business also who don't really know the culture. They're not a part of the culture. I'm hip. I've been in California. We have family out there, so I was already going to dispensaries. I was already smoking good ganja, Cali ganja, and I see this, and I'm like, well, how can you sell that to somebody? So I start looking into growers. Found a grower in Oregon. Looked at my wife. I said, "Pack the bags, baby." She's like, what? I said, we're taking a trip to Oregon. She's like, Oregon? Have you ever been there? No, never. But it's cool. We'll see how it is. It's going to be a cool trip. Let's go. I want to go to the hemp farm. I spoke to the guy. I found him online. I found a website, showed me a couple growers, and I reached out to one. He was a cool guy. Called me back. We spoke. He's come to the farm more than, very, 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 very open, inviting. And he was like, come see the fields. Come see what I got going on, man. Come here. Let's do this. And I'm like, all right. well, I'm not gonna be scared. I'm gonna buy this ticket. I'm gonna take this trip, and I'm gonna go see, because I already knew from reading up what I needed to do now to open up and set up. So I was like, okay. Bought the tickets. We flew, I believe, to LA, and from LA we had to take a smaller plane, a little small plane, to go land in the middle of nowhere in Redmond, Oregon. So we landed in Redmond, and then from there we go down to the farm. We finally, like, I'm driving down. I'm over here. I'm like, wow, there's nothing on this road but farmland, like nothing, you know. And then but it's beautiful. I will say, Oregon is beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful states I've ever been to. I love Oregon. I kind of, like, ever since then I've gone back a few times, and I might end up owning a home there one day. I even if I have to travel back and forth. I love the culture. It's cool. The hipster Portland is dope too, so I really like it. So I'm going over there where we like the area. We get there. We finally get to the farm. I meet the guy. I mean, I'm walking through fields, and, like, coming from how things are portrayed, like, that's crazy. You know, like, it's something that's been illegal. It's so
taboo.
It's so taboo. It's so taboo. Yeah. I'm like, I am literally on acres of hemp. Like, it looks like weed plants everywhere.
Yeah, look. I'm gonna put the picture up right now. You see this? This is amazing. It's beautiful. This is like this is Mikey working in one of his greenhouses right here.
Yeah. So I'm literally looking around, and I'm like, wow, there is plants everywhere. This is cool. I'm walking around smelling them. The guy's showing me all the different genetics, all the different strains, and because it's an intricate thing, there's a lot of genetics, stuff like that. So then from there, we actually, you know, I got to see his dried product, his whole process. Here I'm learning everything.
Wow.
I'm literally I'm taking notes.
And he's doing all this.
He's doing all this for free.
Wow.
He gave me the game.
The blueprint.
Shout out to Sykes Mitchell, Big Top Farms out of Oregon. You showed me, you gave me a lot of knowledge. I appreciate everything you showed me. He showed me his whole process, even down to how he dries, how he cuts, everything. It was awesome.
Wow.
And we bought product. That's another thing that's cool about this business. Everybody's really open. You know, we're not like, don't ask me a question. I'm not gonna. No, it's so new, and it's such a green thing, and people are so happy about even being a part of it. We all want to share. Mm-hmm. We have to teach the other, and that's kind of like why I'm here. I really want to teach others what they don't know. And as I got so he put me on. I bought product. I already started Larry, friend of the family's graphic guy who's done a lot of graphics for us. I told him I wanted graphics. I had an image for what I wanted. Headmasters was created.
Shout out to Larry himself.
Yeah, shout out to Larry himself. He created the logo. He to me, I refer him to, like, mathematics, like the guy who made the Wu-Tang logo. Like, Larry was the guy who was like, I think it should be this, and I was like, that's what we're doing. That's what we're going with Larry. And since then, me and Larry still been working together.
That's awesome.
Since, you know,
that's great.
And so from there, I got into it, realized I could do it, bought product, spent money right there. I started this company, to be honest, $5,000. I bought $5,000 worth of product, other than the labels and some packaging that I got from. I found a packaging company. I wanted to make it look high end, like they do in California. Put it in jars. All these guys were using plastic.
That's the question I want to ask you. What makes your company different? Because you see all these
quality.
That's a
quality.
Perfect.
Yeah. They don't know it. Like I said, they don't know the culture. People who go to LA, people who are smokers, people who've been smoking, or people who know marijuana, or who you know, the taboo. We're into this, so we really know what we like and what we want. You know, at this point, you have a whole bunch of farmers that were growing random corn and other crops, which are great crops. I'm not against it. Love corn. But they decided they're gonna grow hemp.
Got it.
They didn't know really what they're doing yet. So you know,
there's a
learning curve.
There's a learning curve. You're growing something, and then you need to understand the culture behind it. And you had both.
We already knew prior information. Like, we already learned from just being a part of it.
So in your company, your primary focus is quality. You want to make sure that customers are getting the most top quality product when you're selling.
We want our customers happy. We want them to know what they're using, and we want them to know what they're using it for. Okay. And that's where, as soon as I got into the game, I realized there was a lot of bad going out there. I mean, milligram numbers that weren't really adding up. People selling products without COAs. There was no certificate of analysis on anything. There was no proper testing. The market was kind of so open that people were just putting product out there just to make money.
And you guys test your product.
And because it
looked
like what
just because it looked like what it is, people wanted to buy it. But it says CBD says if you ever try CBD and it didn't work for you, 9 times out of 10, the company that you bought, they weren't doing things properly, and that's probably why you didn't find any type of relief in any way. That's why I have such a passion to do what I do, because I have to show people, this is work. It works. Yeah. If you have something that's done right. And, the state of Florida, at first it was early, but they've done great things now to make sure that testing has to be done, packaging labels. The first couple years when Obama did it in 2014, it was too open. Then the Farm Bill came, 2018. After that, now we had rules. So now things are set up. But I started even back then. But even with back then, I was doing it the right way.
Yeah.
Because I knew how it needed to be done.
You're ahead of the game.
I was already ahead of the game. So I wanted glass jars when everybody was in little plastic containers and cheap stuff. I went straight to using raw papers, even though at the time I owned my own rolling paper company. I knew that the brand recognition that came with raw at that time, like I was just going to put in there, more customers would gravitate to it.
Got it.
Simple things like that. Hey, put your guard down, even though you have your own thing. I knew it made sense to just use his product, so I used it. It is what it is. It worked well. We used quality. Everybody at that time loved raw paper.
But today you have your own paper too.
Yeah, so I have my own paper. My papers are great.
That's another company.
I roll up rolling papers. It goes with the smoke shop as well. But I don't even want to spend too much time on that. It's rolling papers. We smoke it. If you were interested, irollup.com. Look into it. It's definitely, if you want to subscribe to it, you can subscribe and get some booklets sent to you. I actually pulled the subscription down recently. Something we're looking into putting back on. It's just, like I said, I got so much going on with Headmasters. Yeah, that was draining.
They can buy your papers at the store.
You can order them at the stores. Yeah, we sell them at the stores now.
What?
So
go ahead.
Sorry. So when we get into, basically at that point, once I got it started, I already started my packaging. Now at this point, I'm telling myself, where am I going to go sell this? So I started going smoke shop to smoke shop, door to door, start selling it, created a price sheet, creating my own sale. And then I started teaching a lot of the smoke shop owners, because even them themselves, it was so new, they didn't really know a lot of information. And then once they saw my packaging and my product and how well it was done, because I was bringing them real whole flower, properly grown, smelled great, cured right, had a good taste. There was a lot of bad stuff out there that turned people away.
It's interesting. Some companies some people shy away from companies or businesses where you have to educate the buyer.
Yeah, it's definitely, it was like it, because it was so early. We had no choice. If that was the business you want to be in in that year in 2018, you had to educate.
Yeah.
So it almost came with it, and I was okay with it because I still want to educate on it. Like one day, I'm working on my podcast now to do a Headmaster podcast as well, so that I can educate. So eventually you guys can go check out Headmasters on YouTube. It'll be on every platform. We're gonna definitely do a podcast so we can educate more on CBD and hemp and everything in that field. It's not only gonna just be for CBD. It's gonna be for every cannabinoid. So that's why to me it's Headmasters, because yes, the plant is hemp, but every cannabinoid in it we should discuss. Delta 8, Delta 9, CBD, CBG. These will all become household names. Right now CBD is, but you even have CBG, which is another great cannabinoid that does different things. Now this plant is not psychoactive. If you use it, you're not gonna get high. So if you're thinking it's just another marijuana, you're gonna get stoned, it's not gonna happen. You're smoking medicine at that point, a holistic medicine. I'm not going to say it's actually medicine. You know how that goes out there. I don't want to fight with pharma.
I don't think anybody wants to fight with big pharma.
I'm not fighting big pharma. I always learn big beats little. I'm good. And at that moment, like I said, I wanted to educate. I started going to businesses and educating and telling them why my product was better, and they felt like it was better when they can compare it to what was on their shelves, and they were like, yeah, we're gonna buy that. And that's how it started. I kept going door to door. Then eventually I started looking into, I asked them, where do they buy their products from? Then they told me about distributors, wholesalers. I was like, oh, who do you go to?
So you're asking questions. I'm just gonna say a couple things, because you have so many takeaways. There's some people are gonna be able to take a lot away from this.
Definitely.
One was you asked me for advice. I don't want to just because it's me, but you asked me for advice, and I said go talk to somebody, and you implemented that. You went and talked to somebody. You didn't say, oh, I got this. I'll figure it out myself. No, you did that. Another thing you said was, I'm not gonna be scared. You got on that plane and you went. See, people sometimes don't do things because of fear of failure. But if you haven't failed at something, you never tried anything.
Rack Room taught me that.
That's awesome.
Every girl that wanted to talk to that came in the mall that I was like, no. She is hot.
Oh,
and then she was like, no. I'm like, damn. All right. So
man.
after learning the no's, and getting a couple yeses, you kind of learn how to take that no.
That's pretty cool.
Honestly, I think New York City had a lot to deal with that. Like somebody's cursing you out, yelling at you, telling you to go yourself every other day in New York. So it's kind of like, I mean, it's a great city too. I'm not saying you can't have a good time there, but it's just you hey, they don't, it's not. There's brick walls out there. You need Timberlands.
Okay.
It's the concrete jungle for a reason.
For a reason. I was in the jungle.
Quick question for you: how long has Headmasters been open, and what is the future plan for Headmaster?
Headmasters has been open since 2018. We started right when the Farm Bill. Like I said, we were in business a little bit before, but as legitimately set up officially the way it had to be done once the state put out licensing, 2018. And that's when we started. From there, we had already jumped into selling with wholesalers and distributors, which were selling my product all across 50 states. That was the coolest thing about getting out of just going smoke shop to smoke shop. And any smoke shop item, anybody out there who wants to make a cool glass piece, or you're making something, or you're getting something from China that you branded yourself, you can go smoke shop to smoke shop, and then eventually you can go to the wholesalers, and these distributors will get your product everywhere. So that's what's great about distribution. Even in music, knowing music, distribution, those are the people who are going to get your albums everywhere, get the music to the listeners. So I looked at it like that. From learning in music school, okay, these guys are the distributors. They're going to get my product to all these stores. And, it was great. Then you learn you have to produce enough for that. Yeah. So here comes the next learning curve.
So when you get the order, you're like, okay.
Oh, wow, this is a great order, but
everybody's packaging.
I need my mom. I need
everyone on the block.
Call your grandma. Tell her to get over here. I'm paying people to package right now.
Okay.
At that point, that's when you learn stuff like that. But so again, my passion took me into Headmasters. I knew it became profitable. This is what I wanted to explain to the world. This is what I want to show. This is what I want to do, and I'm living it. It's great. This is the beginning of it. It's awesome. I mean, I'm here. And then this is why I decided to create the smoke shops, though. Because, like we said, Headmaster started first. When I started noticing that a lot of these smoke shops, a lot of the employees in there don't even know how to sell it. They don't know. They don't have the information to explain hemp as well as it should be. I wanted to change that. So I wanted to make sure my product was being sold with the knowledge.
So it's pretty awesome. So you manufacture it, you basically you grow it, vertically integrated, like you said.
Correct.
And now you have the outlet to where you can, or the channels where you can just,
we eventually got to being fully vertically integrated. First, there wasn't hemp license to cultivate in the state of Florida. Oregon had it. So at that time, follow the law. I'm going to Oregon, buying their shipping here. It's cool. We're doing it. I'm packaging their stuff. I'm selling it. It's going great. Once Florida released the license, I said, whoa. Now I can finally grow. I've always wanted to grow since the PC tower at mommy's house. Okay. I always wanted to learn how to cultivate. I used to watch videos all the time on YouTube, and I was like, I want to do this. So I looked into how to get a license. You can easily go online to the Department of Agriculture. All the information is there if you want to cultivate in the state of Florida.
Okay.
The license is free. They're not charging right now.
Wow.
Eventually they will.
Wow.
Right now they're not. And it's because they want it to be something that stimulates the state of Florida. They want it to grow. They want farmers to have an opportunity to get in this game. And shout out to Nikki Freed. She definitely made it accessible. She's definitely fighting for hemp. That's why I kind of I applaud her. I see what she's doing. I think she's trying to take a run at governor. If she does, I'm not saying nothing, but I like Nikki. She's in the hemp business, so she's cool. She definitely helps what I got going on, and she's the commissioner here right now for agriculture, and she hands out the licenses. I applied. She gave me a license with her signature on it. I said, okay, thank you, Nikki. I appreciate you, you know. And then from there, got to start cultivating. And that's what allowed the company now to grow to where I grow my own flower. I can send it out for extraction to make my own oils, to make my own distillates. I can also now make sure the quality control of my flower is held to my standard.
Wow.
Which at the time before, you have to go to all these growers. I mean, you can see their end product, but you don't always get to see what they're feeding, what they're using, what type of nutrients. Is it all organically grown? I mean, to me, hemp is like something it's in something you ingest. It's like a tomato. It's like food. You want to know where you're getting your food. Mm-hmm. So I definitely wanted to make sure I knew where I was getting my hemp, and when it's in my own backyard, I like that. So
yeah, that's pretty cool.
Circling back to what you said earlier, now that you're vertically integrated, I'm sure that cut your costs, right?
For sure.
So which increases your margins.
So we go
back to margins.
So we go back to the main thing, margins.
Yeah, I mean, we all live off.
I knew that if I grew my own, and I mean, hemp is a weed. You water it, it grows. But that's not the case for everything. Like, yeah, you can water and it grow, but if you want great quality. You got to put some work and some love into this plant. And it was something I've always wanted to do, and I started. The first grow wasn't the greatest. I pretty much failed the first one.
Okay.
Be completely honest. We set up, soil wasn't working well. There was some issues at that time with the well water, and I had some problems. The first round of genetics that they released in Florida were terrible.
Okay.
That's why Florida lifted the genetics so that we can get some from out of state. Because out of state on the West Coast was where they actually had good genetics. And they had plants that were growing well. So once they lifted that, we were able to get good genetics, which was something else that she had pushed for. And when she got that approved, it was awesome. So we got to get really good genetics from Oregon, which is what was being sold on the market. And now plants are growing and they're flourishing. So I'm really thankful. My second round is going well. My indoor grow went great. It was phenomenal. And now that's the whole thing where we go with quality. Indoor flower will always reign supreme over outdoor. Even though outdoor is, sun grown, natural, that's great. But when you fully control the environment and you give this plant everything it needs, it's a beautiful thing and what you get in the end. So I wanted to give hemp the same attention that they were giving traditional medical cannabis. And that's why we stepped apart. That's why Headmasters is different, because I pushed to be at the same quality as them. And they set the bar. And for me, it's like, okay, if we have hemp, why can't CBD be as pretty as that? When you see what was on the market, but what really came down was people were taking advantage of a early business that was really bringing in some numbers from when it started. We're talking, this is going to be $1 billion industry one day. So at that point, everybody's getting in and just selling whatever they can get their hands on. So then you got the standout companies who started really focusing on that quality, like ourselves. And I'm happy to be vertically integrated because I can control it all. I have full control of what we're doing, and we definitely deliver a great product. So that's why people who have come into one of my shops and got to try my products, they're getting the proper milligrammage. They're getting taught how much they should take, how much they should use, what's good for what's good for other reasons. We have pamphlets and things there at the shop for them to take home and read and gain more knowledge on. And that's why I say, if you're a smoker, if you're a drinker, like when I use the analogy of don't just drink rum, try drink other things. And I'm not telling nobody to go drink alcohol, because that's just not what I'm doing. But when it comes to this, there's so much other stuff in the plant than just Delta 9. So if you smoke Delta 9, yeah, you get high. That's cool. But I like all the other stuff that comes with it, that helps with anxiety, helps with depression, helps with sleep, helps with inflammation in our body. CBG is, for some people, CBG works even better for them than others. So at that point, you have some people who can't smoke traditional cannabis. It makes them very anxious. Like, I have a brother like that, and if he smokes it, he's like, no, man, I don't like how I feel. Mm-hmm. But he can, you know how that works. But he can actually try CBD, and he was like, wow, I smoke this and I'm not losing my cool. I'm not going crazy. I'm not losing it. It's different.
But you don't just do the smoke products too. You have
and
oils and all these other
point.
things.
You don't have to just smoke either. There's edibles, there's candies, gummies, chocolates. Literally, they figured out how to put it in everything. We learned how to make concentrates or distillate, and from there we can infuse it, we can infuse it in any way. There's many ways to infuse, and because of that, we have so many different options. And CBD has changed my life. CBD has changed a lot of people's lives. The industry is new. If you've never tried it, don't completely say never. It's something that you may be interested in. It may help you in your lifestyle. It may help clear. CBD clears brain fog. Yeah. From my own experiences, like if sometimes you're cluttered in your frog, you could eat a couple CBD gummies, your head will clear up. You could think sometimes a little sharper. These are things that they study now, and they're actually proven. Yeah. That it's.
I would say do your own research and then make whatever decision.
Always, whatever you want to do, make sure you're okay with doing it. It's completely legal at this point. It's federally legal, and that's what came with the Farm Bill. They made it federally legal in all states. Anything that tests under 0.3% Delta 9 is considered industrial hemp. So that's what allows us to do what we're doing. That right there, and with it being industrial hemp, it could be sold on any shelf as long as they have a CBD license. Yeah, so the state of Florida made a license. You pay for a license. It's like $700. That's where they're getting their money. They gotta get it somewhere.
Yep.
And so at least that's the way I look at it. It's cool. They gave us the opportunity to grow it for free and go, but to sell it or to put it in stores, then they have a fee, and it's a little hefty fee yearly. You got to pay it every year.
Wow.
So that's how they're doing it, and I'm okay with it. They gave us the opportunity to do this, and now I went from holding a jar inside of my friend's shop to dropping him off cases of my products.
Wow.
Within 30 days.
Full circle. Wow.
Yeah, man.
That's how quick we did that.
Mikey, you're the ultimate entrepreneur. We went over a little bit because your story is so awesome. We're gonna have to you back because you're just full of stories.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have a Mikey part 2.
Right. And also,
we may have to.
Yeah, we might start over, and have it right now.
So that's my point. I want to for any of you who want really to learn more about hemp, you'll be able to come over onto my show and come talk about hemp with me. Yeah. And I can definitely explain to everybody a lot of the benefits and really what it can do for you. But we're talking about the business.
Yeah.
This is about the business.
We'll have you back for sure.
It's been going well. Been in the company since 2018. We have 2 store locations, our brick and mortar stores where we sell our products. We're going from seed directly to sale. We're still growing. We have a Delta 8, which came out of nowhere, took the world by storm. Because of the federal law. All hemp derived cannabinoids basically all hemp derived cannabinoids are federally legal except for Delta 9. So now there's other THCs in the plant that is not Delta 9. Delta 8, Delta 10. We had THCO, HHC. There's other cannabinoids. So with that being said, we're legally now selling THC edibles and products, cartridges and vapes all across the 50 states, which is crazy. So somebody would have, you might even want to think about this. Somebody would have for you guys out there who are considering doing this. If you go to California to go set up shop, you got to spend tons of money to go set up a medical business. And there's so much legalities that come with that.
And competition
at that. They're everywhere. You're dealing with big companies who decided to get in this already because this has been there since 96. Boom. So you're really small going out there. This is a new world that they've opened up to us where you can sell to all 50 states. You're not trapped to that one city or that one state. It's the reason why Burner from Cookies, if you know Cookies and you follow the culture, he's in CBD now too. He was just at the Champs Trade Show, Big Cookies Buzz, all into CBD. Because somebody who's a part of this business is going to know, hold on, I can only sell myself. I have to go get full licenses and do all this stuff to set up in this state. But if I get into the hemp game, I get into the CBD game, I can sell everywhere. I can go across the country. I can sell out of the country and ship this all around. So now your market is way bigger. So now somebody who has a brand like Cookies And I shout out to Burner, bro. I look up to you. This is one of the things, reason why Headmasters is where it's at today is because I got to see guys like you. And I'm not okay with it. I'm not one of those people who's not going to salute my OGs. You definitely showed how to get there and how to take a company to the next level when it comes to cannabis. Jungle Boys as well. And ironically, Jungle Boys opened up in Ocala, their first shop, which I thought was amazing. And they're actually right next to my smoke shop. So we're like 2 lights from each other.
Cool.
To me, it was like the coolest thing. It was full circle.
Man,
you know?
so many takeaways.
And everything came together. So like I said, I saw what they did. I did what I did. This market, the hemp market, is larger. It's bigger than just medical. Recreational is also something you can only do in your state. I want to sell to every customer that I can. So to me, I'm cool with staying in my market. And that's the reason why I'm also... eventually with the genetics and with the science, I'm trying to teach people that what's being sold in a medical dispensary right now, our first episode is going to be on this. And I'll give you guys kind of like a little bit on that. What is medical marijuana? Everybody thinks it's just what's being sold at a dispensary. Well, that's true. But if it's really medical, why don't they offer every cannabinoid? Why don't they offer every kind of everything in the plant? Why is their flower just high in THC but has no CBD in it? So to me, the true medicinal flower will be a full spectrum plant that'll have some of all the cannabinoids.
That's not just gonna get you high.
That's not, and yeah, that's not like, yeah, well, obviously I love Delta 9. Like I said, Jungle Boys cookies, I'm with it. Let's do it. But at the same time, let's start adding some of these other cannabinoids back into the genetics so that we can have all the medicinal benefits there also with, you know, the recreation, if that's what you're looking for. Or you have people now who can just get the medicinal side and not need the recreation because that doesn't work for them. They need to understand what's the difference. You know, people think that it's CBD, I don't want to do it. I only smoke, you know, traditional marijuana. Well, you can sprinkle some of it, add it, stretch your stuff. You can also smoke that in the middle of the day. You know, obviously it costs money. These dispensaries are $60 an eighth, $50 for 3.5 grams. If you can also smoke, if you're into smoking or edibles, if you could take something else and supplement with something else that's better for you, why not try it as well? So that's my argument. You guys can come check me out and we'll definitely discuss why I don't think, you know, why we need to add more CBD products.
When you get that up and running, we'll plug it and we'll have you back again.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
You got so many takeaways, man. Right, Joel?
Yeah, man. I mean, it was amazing to hear your journey, to hear a little bit about your background, about your businesses, and you just want to thank you for joining the show and sharing all that knowledge with all our community of entrepreneurs, inspiring business owners, future owners. Definitely, like Benny said, we're definitely going to have you on the show again and explore a little bit more about that. Last thing I wanted to ask you is, where can people find you? Where, go ahead and
don't take me down. I know you guys want to go buy my products, but there's a little method to my madness here. My products are only sold in my stores or where local distributors are selling it to. So you can't go online right now and buy my products. I want you to go to, I like the idea of bringing the sales to the brick and mortar stores.
Okay, so you sell to distributors.
For
and
real.
Then you have
I sell to distributors.
Your own stores.
I have my own stores. They sell it in other shops. If your shop doesn't have it, tell them you want Headmasters and I will get it to them.
Okay, so store coming soon near you.
Yeah, store coming soon, or one of your other smoke shops in the area. They may be interested in carrying our stuff. We'll get it over there. Like I said, if you guys tell them that that's what you want, that's what they're gonna buy. That's the method of my madness.
Where can they find your company on Instagram?
They could go online to headmasters.us.
Okay.
So that's my website. You'll see stuff about our products, stuff that we have released. That's where you'll find all our information. We're also on social media, Headmasters USA. That's where you can check us out on Instagram, Facebook.
Okay.
We're on there. We're posting things, showing what we're doing in the greenhouses and our grow, and come follow the journey. Come watch us grow. Let's grow together. Our slogan is "In Hemp We Trust," and that's kind of my thing.
That's awesome.
Let's make it happen. I appreciate you guys having me on the show. Honestly, great mentors that I've had in my life. You guys helped me, You know, I'm happy that now I could be the young bull sharpening the swords as well.
Yeah.
You know, we all get to kind of sit at a table together. It's great. You know, let's enjoy this journey together. And I follow you guys. I need to figure out how you guys are going to interview yourselves.
Like, that's not about us, man.
This
Honestly,
you guys.
maybe you can interview us.
You guys
but-
got to tell your story.
Yeah. Like I said, man, this is about you guys. We're just trying to like. We will at some point, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but we want to learn from all these other businesses and the community and everything.
Let's not talk about how Joel's in real estate and he's out here crushing it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, we
we got to
definitely.
discuss that. Let's talk about Fifth Coffee. You know, we talk about what's going on that side. You know, there's a lot of things going on at this table.
Yeah, there is. But
Definitely.
Mikey, little big bro.
There you go.
Thanks for coming, man. Love you.
Yeah.
Love you guys.
Thank you,
Good
Primo.
luck. Good luck
Appreciate
with
it.
everything. It's been awesome.
Gotta put that music back on. You know how they do it.
Yo, we gotta go get some food. I am hungry.
Yeah, I'm super hungry too.
For sure.
The wives are probably like, "Are they done yet?"
All right, that's the show with It's Business with Joel and Benny, and see you next week.
See you next week.